Hey, everybody. Welcome to Open the Gates. I'm your host, Matt Burke. Today, we're going to have on Fusebox, and he's going to be talking about his new book tonight. So, if you guys want, give Fusebox a warm welcome and say what up. We're going to be talking Outlaw Nights, Part 2. What's up, Fusebox?
What's up, bud?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Pretty good, man. It's was it Day of the Dead today? So I'm trying to basically salvage what's left of yesterday in some ways, but I mean it's a totally different holiday, you know. My
Yeah.
wife's from Mexico, so
Oh,
it's a cool
nice.
holiday to. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all, but you're honoring the
I've
ones that
heard
have
of it.
passed away. You know what I mean? That's like the main thing, you know. So it's a little different than Halloween, but yeah, man, that's it right now. I got some Mexican chicken and beans and rice, and yeah, this place by my pad, it's pretty good. It's Los Pollos Dorados. It's pretty fire, but yeah, man,
Oh, hell yeah.
had some of that right now, and I'm about to tug down a Mickey's, some malt liquor.
Oh, that takes me back.
Mm-hmm. So you want to maybe tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I am a writer and screenwriter from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Nice.
Uh, I was really big into getting into the film game for a good long while, and I kind of ran into some roadblocks in my life. And so while I was kind of trying to figure out what to do, I came across the big boom in indie comics on
Nice.
the internet. And like I just decided like I was really inspired by it and I wanted to kind of throw my hat in the ring. And while I was thinking about like what should I do for like a story idea for a comic, I had been sitting on an idea for like a movie for a
Mm.
long time that I was like, well, this is something like I'll make if I get rich
Yeah.
way down the
Right.
line. And I'm thinking like, well, what the hell? Like, I've got this story. Why don't I just use this?
Right.
And so I decided I restructured it. I learned how to write a comic teleplay, I guess, or comic script format. And when I restructured the story, I found that it works. It kind of works a little better as a comic than it did as a movie.
Sweet.
So everything just kind of clicked into place. And I went ahead and I launched issue 1 of Outlaw Nights. My first campaign, it didn't pan out, so I learned a little bit from that, and I relaunched, and we managed to get about at least $2,000 more than we were asking for. So that went really well. We fulfilled it, and I've
Nice.
just been gearing up for issue 2 because my plan is to make this at least 8 issues.
Nice, man. Nice. That's cool, man. So you just got a licking. You just fucking got up, kept on ticking, came back. Now you're back with a second one. Um, that's cool, man. I'd like to hear that. I similar things happened to me too. I was working on my story and it wasn't doing too well, so I kind of went back and started over. I wasn't really happy with it, and I just kept going and trying to make the best story I could, you know. Um,
Absolutely.
and then when I got I was lucky on my first campaign for Butch Cleaver horror western I did, and I almost didn't make it, but CG came in and helped me. I was wondering, man, what's some of your like? Do you have any like influences that you like specifically as far as writing and maybe an illustration in comics, movies
Well, the
too?
problem the problem is my drawing like I can do like little cartoon doodles, but nothing to the quality that Outlaw Nights is at.
Mm-hmm.
um, but I like working with artists. I like the idea of like because when I write something, there'll be certain aspects to it that I'm a little vague on. It's like I got the characters totally worked out in my mind. Like I know exactly how I want them to look and stuff. But there'll be things like in the background that I'll be a little vague on. It's like I don't quite have it pictured out, and it's like the artist comes in and they kind of have a little bit of creative freedom in that area, and so it's like our juices kind of flow together. It's like it becomes something better than what I envisioned.
It's a nice little like creative. I don't know. You guys are both kind of coming together like a jam piece. You know what I mean? You get your
Exactly.
you put yours in, and then the artist comes in and puts their interpretation, and then you guys got something even better, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And so,
Um,
but in terms of like influences,
yeah.
well, I mean, my favorite author of all time is J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't write everything based on that kind
Right.
of genre.
Right.
I think for like Outlaw Nights in particular, I would look at specific things. Like I think the first time I came up with this idea, I saw the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Mm.
That was like back when it was first in theaters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that just kind of got it flowing for me because I love the romanticism around pirates in that particular genre. But I wanted to style it up a little bit more. I'm like I want to do something in more of a modern or a futuristic setting.
Right.
Give you more to play with, like more weapons, more technology, different types of problems. And growing up, I saw a few things that involved space pirates, and they usually like there was always something lacking for me. It was like I really like this idea, but it's not fleshed out enough the way I want it to be. Like y'all took this angle with it, I'd rather do a different angle. And so that's just kind of slowly how it formed. And I just kind of combined a few different genres, and it became this beautiful experiment.
That's cool, man. Like I've looked at the page and a lot of the art on there, man. What I like about it, to me, I don't know if you've heard this term before. I don't know if where I've heard it, but I've been using it for a while. I don't know if I made it up, but to me, it's got this real blue collar sci-fi look to it. You know what I mean? Kind of like the first movie I seen was Alien, where you got these
I
like
think
space truckers out there. You know?
I remember you saying that, I think, a while back.
Really? Huh?
I think that had to have been you because I remembered hearing the term blue collar sci-fi, and I liked it because it was like it was a perfect encapsulation because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like I'm like I just thought of it in terms I'm like, I like sci-fi, but I want something that doesn't rely on like lasers
Right.
and like everything being super shiny and new and all that. Like I wanted something that feels more grounded,
And
even
closer,
though it's
maybe.
not a grounded genre.
Yeah.
Like,
but they're like closer, right? I think those. I think for me, like that's probably one of the best forms of sci-fi. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
You could do a lot with that.
like
Yeah, man.
in anime especially, I think anime did it great in the '90s. I know like the title sounds similar, but it was not like it didn't really click in my head when I made it. But Outlaw Star, I really liked that anime.
Nice.
Um, and it's a similar type of a story, except there's a lot of key differences. Like I'd say Outlaw Star is way more fantasy oriented than my story.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This one's a little. Yours is a little more grounded. That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
like Outlaw Star actually had pirates in it, but they were the bad guys and they used magic.
Oh yeah.
And to me, I was like, that's too much. We don't need freaking magic. Like,
Yeah. It's like you're already up in space with like advanced technology, and then you're gonna throw some more in there. It's kind of like He-Man a little bit. I do like He-Man though, but it's like, man, sometimes it could be a little too much. You know what I mean? It's like pick your
yeah,
technology type thing.
exactly.
Hell yeah, man. So I wouldn't. I mean, you're probably into the Alien movies, right?
See, I
Some of
never
the
got into them.
no, that first
I've
one's pretty
heard
good.
great things.
I mean,
I've
they're all
never
good.
seen them.
Well, the first one's more of just like a haunted house movie in space, but again, like they're real down to earth. They're space truckers. And then the second
Yeah.
one with Cameron, that one's more of a war movie, with aliens. I'm sure you've heard this. And then the third one, it's a Fincher alien prison movie. So they're all different styles. And then Resurrection, that one was something else. But the first three are really good. I would say the second one's my favorite, just because I'm more into like the action, sci-fi, action horror. That's like what I really like. But yeah, man, really, they're really torn down, really gritty, really just down to the earth, or down to the deck, the spaceship characters in that genre. That's what I like about it. Also, I would say another weird movie, but it's not really that grounded, would be Total Recall. But
Yeah.
that's Philip K. Dick. I was thinking you're probably might be into that writer a little bit.
It's like there's a lot of classics that I missed.
Yeah, me too, man.
And
I'm
it's
still
funny
learning.
because people will tell me like things that I write. They're like, "Oh, that sounds a lot like this from the '80s or from whatever," and I'm like, What is that?" And I'm just,
Yeah, I really liked yeah, the '80s movies are awesome, man. Another good sci-fi one I like, but it's different. Is just horror. It's Event Horizon. That one was really
I've
good.
seen that one.
It's like Hellraiser in space, kind of, but
Yep,
better than the other. I don't
scarred me for life.
know. Yeah, that's a good one, man. I got that one on Blu-ray. Another one too that kind of goes under the radar I liked a lot was Pandorum. That one was pretty cool. That one's got
Okay.
Ben Foster and Dennis Quaid. But that one, that's just straight up sci-fi horror, but it's badass and very underrated. Um, I was gonna say, man, what's your favorite movie?
That's hard. I would say, like, this is probably a cliche answer, but it's the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
No, that's I haven't heard anybody say that, but that's for me. That's like I got like a bunch of favorite movies. I don't just have one, but I always ask people when they come on here what you know.
Yeah.
But I even
I'm
encapsulate the Hobbit one with that. You know, a lot of people hate that movie too, or movies.
I have mixed feelings about the Hobbit movies. It's like I can see the potential in them because like they had great moments in them,
Yeah,
but it's like they really just needed to tighten it up, get rid of a lot of the extra crap they were trying to add that wasn't in the books because we didn't need it.
right. Yeah, those first three were really good though, man. Yeah, have you seen that scene where Aragorn's fighting Saruman, or sorry, Sauron? And it was like someone compiled all the deleted
Yes.
footage. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not in the book, but it was always something I wanted to see in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like and in a way, like when we were since we were talking about like sort of grounded, epic fantasy sci-fi type of stuff, like see, I think those movies kind of encapsulate that for me
Yeah,
because it's like it's a fantastical setting. There's magic and stuff, but it's all kind of scaled down.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
like it's more about the gritty war
Right,
aspect of it.
with Saruman kind of going in there and building his clones and his machines, his Hirokai or like his super soldiers, right?
Exactly.
Tearing down the forest and building his war machines,
Yep.
and that's from Tolkien going to war and whatnot, putting it in his works. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, those movies are awesome. Like every usually like around this time, like November, December, January, I'll do like a whole like saga marathon. So I'll put on Hobbit and I'll play all six of them all the way through. You know, it's kind of boring to some of them in the family, but I just put them on in the background just for fun. You know what I mean? But like for me, the Hobbit would have been cooler. I think if there wasn't so much CGI,
I
and more
agree.
like puppets and stuff like that. But other than that, I think I like the first one out of those three the most. And I like what the Legolas character. He's pretty badass in there.
No,
In
like
those movies.
I agree. Like the first Hobbit movie was probably the best one.
Yeah,
I liked the third one a good bit. They
yeah,
went way over the top with certain things. I think my least favorite of all those adaptations was the second Hobbit movie.
yeah.
There,
That one was kind of weird, right?
there was so much in it. I'm like, you could have cut out like 75% of this movie. It would have been fine.
Yeah, it was pretty long. Yeah, man. Um, I was gonna say, man. Would you like me to share your campaign?
Absolutely.
Cool. It's cool if I bring it up and go through it a little
Sh-
bit.
sure.
Okay, I got it. I got it right here. Hold on one sec. Do 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 do. All right. Take a look at this. Here we go. It's cool if I. Oh, hold on a second. I was gonna say, would you like me to play the trailer?
Oh, absolutely.
Let me go back one more time, bro. One sec. forgot to.
Yeah, this is actually the trailer I had made for issue 1,
Oh, okay.
but it applies to issue 2 well enough, and I've been struggling this year financially, so it's like I had to do what I could.
Oh, that's cool, man. All right, here we go. That's pretty cool, man. I like that dude with the blade arm.
Oh hell yeah! Everybody loves Taurus.
Taurus. All right, cool. So this is the cover right here for the second book, huh?
Yep, that was done by Jay Krager.
Oh, okay, yeah, Jason Krager. Yeah, man, I got his Hammer book, man. That post Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I love his art style. This is badass, dude. And who's this character right here? Is this Wellington?
Yep. And
Oh,
he
okay,
is a pirate hunter that is going to be introduced in this issue.
sweet, man. Do you is it cool maybe if you go over a little bit about the story about what you want to tell, maybe without spoiling too much?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because
Dope.
this takes place in the 31st century, and humanity has begun colonizing into outer space. But I think in many ways, it's like history is repeating itself, as it's pretty much like the era of colonization when Europe was venturing into the New World.
Yeah.
In that it's like literally the nations of Earth are at each other's throats, competing over territory and resources. And we're in the wake of World War III. It ended a few years back. The dust is settling. America no longer exists.
Damn.
So a lot of former Americans are now kind of refugees, or like, have been pretty much assimilated into other cultures. And with this era, it's led to a new boom in piracy, particularly like a new golden age of piracy, because there's a huge gap, there's a huge distance between the inland, which is Earth, and the outlands, which is all the territories in space. So, crime is at an all-time high. Big Brother can only reach so far. And in the midst of all this chaos, we got our main character, Cyrus Lawson, who is a refugee himself and has had a pretty tumultuous upbringing. He's a young adult now, and he's settled on a small, out-of-the-way colony called Therese. And he wants to be kind of a small town hero, or like a small town sheriff. And he kind of, it's going well for him up until the beginning of issue 1.
Ooh.
Because the pirates of the ship called Hazard invade his small, out-of-the-way settlement looking for a very specific piece of data that's going to lead to something very big.
Oh, wow.
That's all I'm going to say on that. But push comes to shove, our boy ends up kidnapped by these pirates. And so he's got to figure out how to survive now in the underworld. And at the same time, he's got to kind of overcome his built-in bias and prejudice against people of the criminal element, because the good guys and the bad guys are not very clearly defined as he thought they were.
It's always the case, right?
Yep.
And so Wellington this is Wellington right here as well, right?
Yep.
And he's part of the pirates that you were speaking of?
He is
Or
actually part of the British military.
okay.
and he specializes in hunting pirates.
Oh, that's cool.
And as you can see, he's been pretty much like, he's been through some hell. So he's been kind of rebuilt in certain areas, and he's a little unstable, which
Yeah, that's
makes him the
cool.
perfect wrecking machine.
And that's him right there too, huh?
Yep.
So he's a he's probably like a supporting character in here, or would you consider him the main character?
Oh, Wellington?
Yeah.
I would consider him the main antagonist
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
because he's chasing our boys,
Oh
and
man.
Cyrus is our main character, and he's very much he's learning how to deal with these pirates because they're not quite what he thought they were. They were his enemies in issue 1,
Mm.
but they've kind of taken pity on him for a mysterious reason that I will reveal eventually.
That's cool, man. So that's Cyrus right there, huh? The dude with
Yep.
the longer hair. Oh, okay, cool, man. The
Oh no
artwork
no
is,
the dude with the longer hair, that's Ivory. He's the captain.
oh, okay, he's a captain, and this is Cyrus right here with the short
Yeah.
hair. Oh, okay. So he's just kind of like the regular dude, sort of
Yeah.
coming up, and
He was a member of the colony guard of Therese. So he was there he was like a first response against the pirate invasion. So he
mm,
went against the pirate crew. Didn't exactly play out the way he was hoping, but they ended up kind of shanghaiing him onto their ship.
oh, okay, I see now. Now it's coming together.
It's kind of like if you're going to draw a parallel to like classical literature, if you're like I was thinking of like the Treasure Island dynamic where
Yeah.
you've got the main character Jim Hawkins who's kind of new to this pirate crew and he's kind of innocent and naive and he meets Long John Silver who kind of takes him under his wing, but it's a tense relationship. It's not, you don't know if you can trust this guy or not.
Yeah, kind of like a tug of war, and then also
Exactly.
this guy is Cyrus, I believe. He's like the kind of like the our gateway into this world as well, right? As he's
Exactly.
exploring things and learning new things, so is the reader.
Yep.
That's cool, man. Um, I guess we can go over some of the tiers if you like.
Sure.
All right. So all right, featured tier is on issue 2 plus variant poster.
Yeah, that is where you're going to get issue number 2 as well as a poster of that picture we were just on actually
Oh, okay.
of Wellington and Ivory fighting with Cyrus down at the bottom there.
Oh, that's cool. So I'll scroll down real quick. That's the one. That's another one by Krager, right?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
could tell.
Krager did the cover and that variant.
He did the Kill Journal. I got that one by Lawson, Gifted Rebels. That one was really good too.
It's funny, yeah, when I met Adam Lawson, it's funny cuz the first thing he noticed, my main character's name is Cyrus Lawson. So, he's
Oh man, that's
related.
funny. That's his brother.
Yep.
Then you got the Get
Yep.
Outlaw Nights number 2. It's just like the standard tier right
Simple.
here. Simple
Yeah,
tier.
most of the perks are pretty straightforward because I feel like one of the issues I've noticed with a lot of campaigns is just the fact that they tend to promise a million things like, oh, you get posters and we'll get toys and we'll get stickers and all that. And it's like, that's all really cool, but it's increases the chances that you're going to get delayed. And it also
True.
increases the budget by an enormous amount. It's like, I want to keep it simple for right now so that I
Yeah,
can get this thing out in a timely manner.
that makes sense. And then you got the digital. You got the digital right here for folks down under, overseas.
Yes, indeed.
That's cool. That cuts out shipping right there. Yeah, man. Okay, digital plus physical. That's cool.
Oh yeah, that one was
Both issue.
actually somebody asked me to put that one up, so I went ahead and I did it.
And this right here, you got This is like the catch-up tier right here, huh?
Oh yeah, we got several of those because I threw in a little bit of variety with that, where it's like you can get a physical copy of each issue, or for another perk you can get a digital of issue 1 and a physical of issue 2, etc., etc. You know.
It's cool, man. Well, I was gonna say what real quick. What I like about this character, it kind of reminds me of like Cable or like Winter Soldier a little bit, man.
Oh, absolutely.
It's pretty badass.
Hell yeah.
Another movie I was gonna throw out there too, blue collar sci-fi, Escape from New York, man. That's another one.
Yeah, and
Um,
like funny thing is like people have told me that they think that the pirate Captain Ivory looks a lot like Kurt Russell.
oh, that's cool. My dad was in the hospital at the same time that like Escape from New York was made, and my dad asked Kurt Russell because he actually shared a I think a room with his son or something like that, and he was like, "Hey man, you got an extra eye patch?" Because he really liked the movie. So did I. Mm. Cool, man. Both issues plus the cover plus cover poster.
Yep. It's where you know that cover that we were at the top. That's also gonna be a poster. And I'm gonna be like for the email list. I've already started. Like I've already got a secret perk out there, and like I'm gonna try to add more posters to the
Oh, nice.
campaign as time goes on. I'm already talking to a couple of artists about it.
That's cool, man. And then you got the retail bundle right there.
Yeah.
That's always good, man. I always recommend people should do that in digital. I didn't do a digital tier, but the way my campaign was we it was a year ago. You know what I mean? So things change. I mean, that's something that I would look into, especially with the way costs are rising right now and how expensive it is overseas. It's not a bad option to have.
Yeah, this is actually the first time I did a digital option for this.
Really?
Like, and for the first campaign, I offered like a digital preview,
Oh, okay.
but that was about it.
That's awesome, man. That who was it? Fragaboom was doing that for some of his old stuff, and Brian Kreisty was doing that on his new Six Gun Gorilla. He's got the first issue up there. You could download it, I think, right on the on the Indiegogo site, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
Um, I could be wrong, but yeah, man, that's cool. So you just launched like a few hours ago. You're already up to 9 backers. So
Yeah, we launched. We actually launched at midnight.
oh, okay. So yeah, just a few hours ago, and you're already at 9. So that's cool, man. You should be able to hit your goal with ease.
God willing. Like even if by some stretch, like I don't know why anybody would pass this book up to not to be so humble.
Oh, the
But you
artwork's
know,
killer, dude. The artwork alone sells it for me. You know what I mean?
but
Um,
if by some chance the campaign doesn't make it this time around, I am gonna relaunch because I
yeah,
feel like it's got to get out there.
yeah. Just keep on going. It's an awesome looking book. Um, yeah, man. So, do you have any other shows lined up for this week at all?
I'm gonna be on Critical Blast channel later on tonight,
Oh, okay. What time are you going to be
um,
on there tonight?
around I believe he said 8 Eastern ish, so I think around 7.
Oh, okay, I'll be over there with RJ. He's a good guy, man. He had me on a couple of times.
Hell yeah! And I mean, but I'm still looking for more shows to get on. I've been having trouble.
Pops.
What's
Yeah, just
up?
yeah. I would say just keep looking around and stuff. And the book looks killer, man. I'm really digging the artwork and the whole setup. And everyone loves the sci-fi books, man. They're really cool.
Oh yeah, no, I
They're really
mean
popular right now.
the artists are just fantastic. Like I just remember the first time with issue 1 when got like the first page back that I ever sent, after I sent off the script. That first time it was like my mind was blown, like to
Yeah,
actually
dude.
see the characters I was just kind of imagining in my mind like fleshed out in such an awesome way.
Yeah, the art looks like pro level, like before. like kind of everyone like the Tumblr crew came in the the Tumblr era. Like now it's like I don't know, man. It's hard to find that good art, but pre that era, it looks pro
I know.
like hundred
Like I
percent.
don't understand why there was such a huge downgrade.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people left, and it's just they don't. I mean, a lot of people went into different areas, arenas, different professions with their art skills. You know, like they're doing concept design, video games, stuff like that. You know, just because the page rate it's kind of hard, especially now, the way the
Yeah.
economy is. You know, unless you're living in like Mexico or something like that, or somewhere where you can get more out of your dollar. I guess it works out that way. I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
man. You got a favorite metal band?
I do not.
What about rock?
I'm more of a rap and hip hop guy.
Who's your favorite rap and hip hopper?
I mostly liked rap and stuff from like from the 90s and from the early 2000s up
Nice.
to like the mid. I don't really have one specific guy. I always just kind of bounced around.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like everything now, all the rap and hip hop nowadays is crap. Like
Yeah, it's pretty
they
fake. Like
they don't
everything is
even bother making words anymore.
yeah,
Like,
man. It's pretty crazy. Um so yeah, you never had like one favorite rapper that you listen to more than any others?
not really. Um, I mean, I liked guys like T.I. and Ludacris, and I mean, everybody likes Tupac. I mean, there's you can't like rap and not like Tupac. I mean,
There was a rapper, what is it, that rapped really fast. What was his name? Twista? I think that guy
I listened to a little bit of him.
that guy raps so fast. Oh man. A lot of my buddies they're into rap. I don't really listen to it, but you know, most people do, you know. So like they you know, that would be on. I heard that guy and I was like, wow, I was pretty impressive how many words that guy could spit out in the amount of time. You know what I mean?
I
Pretty
did
impressive.
like when I was in high school. I did kind of like bounce around a little bit of metal just because like a few of my buddies were into it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really have a specific favorite, but it was like for me it was whatever I could imagine like an awesome action scene to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what I was especially like anything by Ramstein.
Oh yeah.
Like
Rammstein's
that
pretty dope.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like industrial metal. You got
Oh
like
yeah.
what else? Ministry. I think they started for me like that style of metal. That my favorite band probably would be Nemec. And they're from Denmark, but the one before them would be Fear Factory, which they pretty much sound like. Fear Factory is pretty badass. They're old school, but they got that machine sounding. They like calling that like heavy machine sounding style, you know. And
Oh hell yeah.
they came out around the same time like Pantera did, you know. And I remember Pantera and Fear Factory were like the only dudes that were screaming and yelling, but also doing like clean singing, but with heavy music. You know, at that time, it's pretty cool. They're still around, still kicking. I guess Pantera is going to be doing a get together, kind of like a reunion tour or something like that in the near future. But
Nice.
yeah, they're pretty cool too, for sure, man. Is there any other projects you're working on right now other than this book right now? Any other things you're working on in the pipeline?
Right now this is my main focus. Like I've been kind of bouncing around with a buddy of mine. Like we're talking about building a fantasy story that we've constructed sort of a mythology to.
Oh, sweet.
So I want to get into that eventually, but it's still kind of in the rough edges, I guess. Like it's a little more detailed than I'm used to doing in a story.
Right, right.
But and it's just I've been playing around with it in the background. But right now my main focus is Outlaw Nights, and I'm also just mainly working to build up my channel on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. What do you well for fantasy like what are you thinking kind of like something more let's say more like Howardian or more something more Tolkien style. I mean I'm just speaking loosely. I mean there's other writers from that, but
Definitely a Tolkien influence, like, but I would say like for the mythology itself, I looked through a lot of mythology, and I just literally would just take things from different mythologies I liked, and I would mix and match things So it's really like a blend of a lot of different mythologies, like Japanese, Chinese, uh, Native American a little bit.
That's
You
awesome.
got Norse, of course.
Yeah.
You got a
Greek.
lot of heavy Greek influence.
Right.
So I just kind of mix and match, and I pick and choose. And I think the thing I share in common with Tolkien is I kind of filter it through a slightly more Catholic lens.
Okay.
The idea of like everything kind of works together for a purpose, and good and evil all have a role to play in that.
That's cool, man. Um, yeah, I love fantasy, and I think it's always. I mean, you probably do this too, but I always think it's good to carry around like a little notepad with you. Not so much your phone. A phone's cool too because I'm finding myself taking down notes in there too, but that could just blow up someday in your pocket. You know what I mean? But I think it's good to
Yeah.
have a notepad and a pen, just because there's so many cool ideas. Back when I used to like do more music and stuff, I would even record things like vocal melodies, and I would carry that, and I would like, hey, take it to my guitar player, and be like, look at that. And otherwise, I would fucking forget it. The notepad thing, I got that from Walter Simonson, writer artist. You probably know who he is. The Thor,
Hell yeah.
Ragnarok. Yeah. So on your YouTube show, what are type of things that you like to do on there, man?
I mean, I only recently started kind of pinning it down. Like most of the time I was just live streaming like with folks just kind of talking about whatever. And now I've recently been doing a thing where I'm like doing playthroughs of like some of my favorite video games and offering like my commentary while I'm playing it and stuff.
Oh,
And
that's
I'm
cool.
and I'm playing around with my video editing with it. Cuz like I'm not just doing it live, like I pre-record it and then I chop it up and I edit it a bit.
Oh, okay, that's cool. And then you're like basically hitting like three birds with one stone at the same time, right?
Oh yeah. And like, cuz I think video game stories are really what first inspired me the most to get into writing.
Mm,
Because I always just really liked certain stories in like RPGs, and I always just would like reimagine it as like, well, okay, well, how would this work as if it were a movie? It's like, what would change? What would stay the same? Like, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time, bar none. And I always thought about that game as like, well, how would I make this a movie? Like, what
mm.
would I do? And the Final Fantasy VII remake is kind of doing that for me now, But
Oh, right. Yeah, they're remaking a lot of games, man. My favorite game was probably. I mean, there's a lot I like, but it's hard to nail it down. But I don't know, man. I really liked Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda. For
oh
me, that
yeah,
one's kind of hard to. It's just like that would be a perfect trilogy, if you made that into three movies, with that badass version of Ganondorf at the end, and then in the Uber one where he gets even bigger. I also like the Darksiders games. I don't know if you heard of those. They kind of
I've heard of them. I've never played them.
they're well, the art designs by the comic book artist Joe Mad, and it's basically the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. So far they
Oh
have three
fuck.
games that they've made over the last 10 years. First game is War. The second game, Your Death. The third game, I think I haven't played the third one, but I think it's either Famine or I forgot the fourth one. Sorry, it escapes me right now. I know what it is, but sometimes when I'm talking about something, I'll forget the obvious escapes me. Pestilence, War, Famine, and Death. Okay, so it's Pestilence and Famine. So one of those two is the third. But the first game, oh man, you're war. You're going around and just fighting these big demons, and it's this world that's after the apocalypse. There's a big there's like ash from all the dead bodies, like deserts of ash from all the dead bodies of people that died, and I think you're fighting angels in there too. And the second game, your death in that one, and it's voiced by one of my favorite actors, Michael Ironside. He plays Top Dollar in The
Oh
Crow.
god.
So he's got this really crazy voice. It just sounds really raspy. He just sounds badass, and you never see Death's face. He always just has this death mask and this long black hair. Kind of looks like Top Dollar a little bit, and he's just got these big old shoulders, and he's got these two scythes. And in the game, you're going into like this netherworld. It's kind of like, I don't know. And then you also go into this Norse type world too. So they kind of combine Judeo-Christian and Norse together for the second game. And oh man, that game was so awesome. But so those two, and the thing about, I think I agree with you about video games. They have so much fucking lore, bro. Like they do
Yep.
they build that lore up, and then they have teams, so the teams could kind of just sit there and go into a lore meeting, for a few months and just build it up, whether better or more so than just one person writing everything. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. Like that's actually like I feel like with most fantasy stories it's like I consider Lord of the Rings kind of untouchable, but I feel like Elder Scrolls is pretty damn close.
damn, yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that, man. That one, that's Skyrim, right? Or some totally
Yep.
different, right? Oh, Skyrim, okay. Yeah, and that one has like a pretty firm Norse influence on it too, from what I hear. Skyrim, right?
Oh yeah, but like even like Elder Scrolls, like all the games, like they operate on like the amount of detail in it blew my mind. Like because what it is it's like they function to where each race and culture has their own set of gods, their own set of beliefs and all.
Damn,
And in this universe, they're
dude,
all like everything, even the shit that is contradictory, all of it is simultaneously true.
damn.
It's kind of a paradox, but
Yeah,
it's
right.
really badass.
And they all probably all the religions kind of like tie up a little bit too, right? To
A
like a
little
similar
bit. It's like
thing.
there's like yeah, it's like certain gods are translatable, but some aren't. And you
Okay.
got like and you also have like some unreliable narrators in some of like the history book stuff. You got like conflicting accounts of things. Like that's the stuff
Wow.
I'm like, holy crap. Like.
Yeah, man. Like I meant to play that, and then I heard that one was great. And then I got The Witcher 3. I never played that. I have so many games. Like
That one's
I kind of
good.
just I stopped playing. I got PlayStation 4 like a couple years ago, dude. I think it's going on 3 years now, and I got it, and I just didn't really play it like I thought I was going to. And I got God of War, and that's the game I've been playing like for the most part. But I still don't play it. It's either that or kind of work on my comic. You know what I mean? So
That's
kind of
probably a
got to
good
cut up the
thing.
time. You know what I mean? So like, oh, what's it? But then sometimes, I was talking to my buddy Brian in Christ Scout, and he was like, "Yeah, man, sometimes you just got to break off, bro, and you got to go play some fucking video games and just have some mindless fun." You know what I mean? Like it's like, say if you're writing something or drawing the same fucking thing every day, you kind of need to break off and go like maybe write a short story or do some fan art or do something. That way you get a recharge and you come back from the well and you're like ready to go, and you'll do even better on that next piece rather than like racking your brain and shit.
Oh, absolutely. Like I am probably not the best role model as a writer because I'm the type of guy where I'll write a good bit for like a couple weeks. I'm just like focused on something. Then once I get it all out of my system, I like don't touch anything else writing for like a few months. and then
That
like
makes sense.
and then like when something just lights the spark in me, I write something else and.
That's cool, man. Like, cause it has a focus behind it. There's a passion behind it. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
drive. I watch a lot of, cause me, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I write my stories, but it doesn't mean it needs to be where it needs to be. But I'm trying every book I do, right? But what I do listen to is his channel, Mike Barron. Um,
Yeah.
he's got some really cool little videos on his YouTube channel, like just little nuggets, of stuff that's really cool. You were saying that you live in Louisiana, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool, man. I was I've never been there. I always wanted to go, man, just to check out like the culture. I love the food over there. Um, but it was like a big influence on me, like for when I was making my book Butch Cleaver. In the
Yeah.
story, he gets killed and he's brought back to life by this voodoo curse. And there's this main character and there's a preacher pimp, right? So he does both. And he has a voodoo doll of everybody in town he does business with, and Butch gets killed, and yeah, there's a lot of that lore I pulled from there, and just a lot of the way it's set up, and the French Quarter buildings, and what like combining that with
Oh yeah.
um, I don't know, like Texas and and Paris and old like England, just everything I
Oh
liked.
definitely.
Pirates, zombies, um, Vikings, cowboys, banditos, all the old school stuff, just kind of thrown into a big gumbo. So that's cool, man. That's
Nice.
that. Was it Anthony Figueroa lives over there too?
Yep.
He's
I
gonna be
met him
on.
at I met him at a comic convention about God, it's almost been a year.
That's cool, man. That's cool. You guys like get to meet up. I haven't. Yeah, I don't think I haven't met anybody from like from CG or anybody or out here in real life. I'm over in California right now in LA County. Um, but yeah, man, I've been wanting to make the trip out there, man. I love I make gumbo, and I like the dirty rice and the jambalaya and all that bomb food. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And that place is haunted. You know what I mean? I'm usually doing a horror.
Yeah.
I just want to go there, dude. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. I mean, no offense, but I don't give a fuck about Mardi Gras. You know what I mean? I want to just go there, like
None
actually
taken.
when it's not. I want to just go and immerse myself in the culture.
Mardi Gras is a tourist trap, and it's mainly fun if you drink a lot.
Yeah, and then it gets scary too, right? If you drink too much, then people pop up and take advantage, maybe steal your shit or something.
If you're downtown, yes.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I do got some. I ain't gonna lie. Mardi Gras is interesting to me though. I'm gonna have something similar like that if and when I do Butch Cleaver 3, because that was another thing I wanted to talk about. Like with me, I'm working on my next book, Hell War, and there's just a lot of stories I want to tell. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I think it's always good to have something. You're always working on something. You know what I mean? That way, like come back to the main thing you're working on. You kind of break off from that, go jump in that world for a little bit, swim around in there, and then jump back into the other one. And now you're back with more like inspiration and give that world another I don't know, another fresh breath, I guess, for the moment.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I got like fuck, dude. I got like probably 10 different books I want to do. You know what I mean? I want to hopefully live till be like 120 years old. Still writing like Stan Lee and doing stuff. Just hard, man. We
Oh
just
yeah.
gotta keep making these books, though. Don't
I mean,
I
I
don't know.
admire that because it's like right now the stories I want to tell. It's like I'm limited to like specific like a couple of things.
Mm.
Um, I think one of the biggest problems for me was like a lot of the stories that I wanted to tell back in the day. It seemed like somebody kind of beat me to the punch in a
It's
lot of
always like that.
cases.
It's always like that. Like even with design of characters. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I try to go in there and I'm like, all right, they did that, and I'm like, can I tweak this a little bit? Can I bring this a new fucking? Can I spin this a different way that's equally like satisfying to me and possibly entertain like a viewer? Jack's Law. Let's see here. The cross on the walls is like the flip side, but Fusebox uh, does not seem to like he is a hardcore. Is as hardcore about his wall art. um,
Yeah. I live in a simple little apartment slash hut. It's kind of like a mini house, but it's literally like it's like a little efficiency. It's like one room. So it almost counts as like a shed or a shack. Like,
and that's all you need, man. Especially if you're like writing and reading, and I don't know, like I got some brother-in-laws and stuff, and I know younger cats, and I'm getting up there in age too, but I'm like telling them like, hey man, save your money, and like, I mean, think about getting if you have people that are cool with it, think about getting a fucking tiny house. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like those things are awesome. Like I don't really need that much personally anymore. I could live minimalist, as long as I got my paper and pencils and inks and fucking whiteout and stuff like that. For me, that's all I need. I just need like a corner with a desk now. And I'm pretty good.
Oh hell yeah.
But I don't know. Before that, it was more like I wanted all this stuff, and now it's more. It's just kind of like more stuff you got to clean and do maintenance on. And my dad told me when I was a kid, he was like, hey Matt, you could buy a castle in Ireland, right, for like $1. I'm like, what? You can't. And come to find out, yeah, you could buy like castles like dirt cheap over there, but it's not the price that you pay for them. It's the upkeep every month. You know what I mean? You have to have people come in and like clean it and take care of the plumbing, and I don't know. And a lot of them are like historical like reserves. You know what I mean?
Oh
Um,
damn.
so it's just the upkeep on it is like thousands and thousands of dollars. But they actually kind of want people to live there to pay for all that the country. So I'm like, oh okay. But older you get, the more stuff you gotta clean, and it's a lot. I
I
was
would
gonna
only
ask
want to
you.
live in a castle if I was like running a country.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, it'd be cool, but again, it's just like I don't know, man. So if you're a writer and an artist, like you're not going to really appreciate all the stuff all the time. I mean, I guess if you break out, but you're usually working on paper or like a screen or something most of the time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, I was going to ask you, man, you got a favorite beer? A favorite brewski?
Um, let's see. I mean, like I haven't drank in like 7 or 8 years now.
Oh, good.
Because I liked alcohol a little too much back in the day. So I ended up having to give it up.
Oh, that's
But
good, man.
I definitely loved I was a fan of like Miller High Life, and I think like I definitely loved malt liquor. Like I loved Mickey's, and
That's the one I like.
I loved OE.
Yeah,
That was my shit.
weed over beer. Yeah, I mean, I usually have about like 1 or 2 beers a week. I usually do like a beer when we do our live stream on Tuesdays, and then I'll probably do like a book review, and I'll pair it up with a beer that I maybe a book I backed. You know what I mean?
Oh hell
Um,
yeah!
but nothing crazy. That's all I do. If I smoke the herbs, I'd just be fucking sleeping all day. Like I would fucking do nothing. I could take
That's the
like one
thing.
hit, and I
I
would just sit there and laugh all fucking day for like a week. One hit, and I would do nothing. And the only thing I would do would maybe be eat like everything in the house.
I envy that because yeah, I quit smoking weed a year ago,
Oh, okay.
and when I smoked weed, I developed such an annoyingly high tolerance, but it made me lazy as fuck.
That's why I can't do it. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
personally, I like you don't need the weed. This is my personal. Everyone has medicinal whatever, but this for me, I don't need the weed. I don't need the beer too much or nothing. I don't even need it. I just do it just to kind of have a beer. Don't need the
Yeah.
cigs too much, but it's hard, man. I mean, no matter what you quit though, I think it's all about everything in moderation, and that's to me that's the hard part.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
My family doesn't know much about moderation, so you know.
Oh man, everybody's family's like that, dude. Especially out here in the states. Um,
Well, I mean,
is
I
it,
come from a city where like alcoholism is a culture.
yeah, no, I know.
It's like that's like our tourism, our holidays. It's all about booze.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard when you have the one to stop. And that's how they make the money and get the beads and stuff, right?
They actually charge tourists like $10 for a thing of beads. It's ridiculous, and
Yeah.
people buy that shit.
We got another Jack's Law right here. Says the guy with the big beer bottle. Yeah. Um, yeah, man. Got my big old beer bottle right here. Mickey's. I actually like Elephant though, that by Carlsbad. I think that's the best malt liquor.
I think I've had that before.
It's pretty good. I was gonna ask you, man. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your about the campaign? I know you're gonna be going on. Was it RJ's? It's tonight, right?
Yep,
And what about another hour or so?
about an hour, I believe.
Okay,
And
sweet man.
yeah, back Outlaw Nights. Check out my YouTube channel called Fusebox. I'm posting really awesome video game, playthroughs and you know, yeah, hit
Sweet.
me up.
Oh yeah, man. That's awesome, man. Well, shoot, man. Thanks for coming on. I had a blast. I really love like checking out the world of Outlaw Nights. It looks awesome. It was cool to finally sit down and have a chat with you. I've been seeing you out there for a couple years.
Well,
So
thank you.
yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, man. Thanks for coming by. And yeah, I guess where can people find you again? I'm sorry.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Knights Outlaw, and you can also find me on Instagram at Outlaw Nights, and you can find me on Facebook under my real name, Ben Fuselier, Fuselier.
Fusebox.
And exactly.
That's dope, man. I like that.
And
Well,
you can find me on my YouTube channel, which is just called Fusebox.
sweet, man. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Open the gates. We'll see you next time. And thanks again, Fusebox, for coming on. And oh yeah, remember, roll the bones to know your role. You guys have a great Day of the Dead. And until next time, I will be seeing you, or we will be seeing you.